Hello everybody in the VC, and particularly you, Paul. This is a response to your 300 subscribers contest. So you asked for a mixtape of 8 tracks, and not an easy task. I grew up definitely in the period of tapes. When I was really getting into music, I would say CDs were already in full force. And that was I would say only for a few years, because I got into music around grade 8 more so. It was grade 7, but more heavily into grade 8, grade 9. And then by grade 11, Napster was coming out and stuff, and starting to get stuff digitally. Obviously, I still kept buying CDs for years and years, because internet back then wasn't what it was today. First, it was downloading tracks and stuff. So I made a ton of mixtapes on CD, on CDRs where I would burn. And I have I remember having, I would number them. Most of them were all hip hop, because that was what I was into at the time. And then I did make a few. I remember jazz. Before I started buying jazz CD, I think I had made one jazz mix. But I did do a lot of cassette tapes as well for the car, because before, the car that I started learning on, I remember didn't have a CD player, and so I would put some stuff on tape, make some mixtapes to ride in the car with. Anyway, so Paul, since our theme here is, our common bond seems to be jazz, I thought I'd do a jazz mix, and I thought I would pick 8 songs that really were instrumental in me getting into jazz. They were some of the songs that kind of made me fall in love with jazz. So this is by no means my, top 8 jazz songs, but it's definitely 8 of my favorite albums and songs that I love. I've discovered so much jazz since then, through the VC mostly, so I have to thank everyone who makes these videos, because my level of knowledge has increased tenfold, and I just discovered so much music that has brought me so much joy over the past year or two through the VC. So let's get started with my mixtape. First one I'm going to throw out there is Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers. And what really did it for me on here is Lee Morgan's trumpet playing, and it's on the track Moaning. So Paul, I know you picked up an original of this recently, and this is probably when I was first getting into jazz. Not one of the first albums I picked up, but I definitely picked it up early on, and that track absolutely mesmerized me, and definitely one of the tracks I've listened to the most out of all my jazz collection. This is just like a cheap reissue that I bought, one of the first probably vinyls that I bought, because it was the album that I was obsessed with. Anyway, so Moaning, Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers on Blue Note. And then because I love that so much, I can't remember which one I discovered first, but it's The Sidewinder by Lee Morgan. So, first track, The Sidewinder. This features Joe Henderson, Barry Harris, Bob Crenshaw, and Billy Higgins. And this is just a groover. So I was already into blues, and I really kind of was digging the groovy, bluesy tracks that, were really moving when I was first getting into jazz. So this is an original. Very happy to have that. Let's say the third album is this, Something Else by Cannonball Adderley. This is like a second or third pressing. The album's called Something Else, and the track for my mixtape is Autumn Leaves. Absolutely love this. And this has Miles Davis, Hank Jones, Sam Jones, and Art Blakey. And I'm sure most of you know this, but this is just a beautiful, beautiful piece of music. what I would say about this mixtape is it's great. These are songs that people are accessible for everyone, so people who aren't really into jazz could definitely enjoy this mix to kind of give them a little intro to jazz. By no means is this like a definitive intro to jazz mix, but I think these songs are accessible to people who are averse to jazz maybe and have concerns about the music. I think it's songs they can enjoy. Or when people say to me, "Oh, I want to get into jazz. What should I listen to?" I think this little mix would be a great intro to them. The rest are going to be on CD. So Miles Davis, Kinda Blue, and I'm going to pick probably So What on here, but really you could pick any track on here. Any track would work because this whole album is essential. Don't need to say any more about that. Next one, I would probably pick Blue Train. This also has Lee Morgan. And so most of these are Blue Notes. As you can see, they're all on Blue Note except for so far the Kinda Blue. But John Coltrane, Blue Train, need to get this one on vinyl as well as Kinda Blue. But definitely Blue Train is where it's at. And also throwing in there Hank Mobley's Soul Station, I am going to pick the track Dig Dis, which is track number 3. Another soul jazz kind of groover. Hank Mobley Soul Station with Wynton Kelly on piano, Paul Chambers on bass, and Art Blakey on drums. Kenny Burrell, Midnight Blue, another one of my favorites to throw on for dinner time or after dinner. And on this one, I'm going to pick Chitlin's Con Carne. Great album. Was one of my early favorites. And last and definitely not least, this is the first kind of jazz that I would say is stepped out of... That's not true. Coltrane, when I bought Giant Steps, that was a bit more intense. And this one definitely gets rowdy. I'm going to pick Wednesday Night Prayer Meeting on here. On Blues and Roots. An album that I would love to find on vinyl, but you just don't see these. I've seen once a 70s pressing, but I'm going to hold out for something. Even a mid 60s, second press would be sweet on this. Anyway, so Paul, that's my mix. Kept it under 10 minutes. That's 8 tracks. And I love the idea. Really hard, but I think that's all music you probably know and love. But my mix is kind of my intro to jazz and a mix that other people would help other people discover jazz as well. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know. You can even write in the comments what your kind of 8 tracks that got you into jazz, or 8 albums that really were your intro to jazz, that got you guys hooked on jazz if you are into jazz. So thanks, Paul. Great contest. Peace, guys.